Hello everyone, I welcome you to my channel, and my channel is HKB Maths Classes. And what will be today's topic? And today we are going to discuss a very important concept, that is elementary operations or elementary transformations. And this topic we'll just try to make it as simple as possible. So today we're going to discuss this questions, that is find the inverse of 1 minus 2 3 minus 5 by elementary operations. So we'll be discussing one questions of 2 by 2 order, and one question of 3 by 3 order, and both the operations, that is row and as well as the column operations, we are going to learn. And we know that, and if inverse, we start with row operations, and throughout the steps we have to follow only row operations. Okay, so therefore one questions will be solving by row operations, and other questions will be solving by column transformations. Okay, let's start. Okay, this is a very simple question. Find the inverse of 1 minus 2 3 minus 5 by elementary operations. Okay, so we'll start this sum. So first we'll assume this. Let A is 1 minus 2 3 minus 5. And since we are going to use row operations here, so we write, okay, we write A. We know that A can be expressed in the form of I into A. I is an identity matrix, or we just replace A, that is 1 minus 2 3 minus 5 and 1 0 0 1, and we'll just leave A as it is, because we are going to use the operations one matrix in the left hand side, one matrix in the right hand side. Okay, instead of writing this A as 1 minus 2 3 minus 5, so it's better to keep A as it is. So let's move to the next slide. Okay, our matrix is 1 minus 2 3 minus 5. Okay, so 1 minus 2 3 minus 5, 1 0 0 1 8. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that we will be using row operations, and after using certain row operations, our objective is that this left hand side matrix to be converted to an identity matrix. That means after certain steps, this matrix should be reduced to the form of 1 0 0 1. Okay, similarly there will be some changes in the matrix. Okay, but our concern is this matrix, that this matrix we have to convert to 1 0 0 1 form. So our main objective is that, like, this minus 2 we have to make 0, and similarly this 3, this non-diagonal elements, both the elements to be 0, and this minus 5 to be converted to 1. Okay, so let's start. We can do one thing. First of all, this we are going to change this particular row 2. So row 2, we can, how to change row 2? Row 2 we can change. So R2 will take help of the row 1. R2 minus 3 R1. Okay, let us first check the original matrix, that is 3 minus 2. Okay, 1 minus 2 3 minus 5. 1 minus 2 3 minus 5. Okay, it's correct. Fine. So we are going to use this operation first. R2. That means I just we are going to make this tree as 1. Okay. First we'll make this number 0. This. So obviously we can make this 0 with the help of 1. So what is the operation? That R2, this row 2 will be changing with the help of this row 2 minus. We'll multiply the first row as 3. Then R2 minus 3 R1. So this number 3 will definitely be 0. So so what is the next step? So there is no change in the first row, so we'll just leave as it is. So if you just multiply 3 and subtract, it will be 0. And if you multiply this one, this number by 3, that is 3 into 2, that is minus 3 into 2, that will be plus 6, and minus 5 plus 6, it will be 1. Okay, that is 1, and there will be changes in the right hand side matrix. This is 1 0, and you are multiplying this one by 3 and you are subtracting, so therefore it will be minus 3. Okay, there is no change in the this particular element, because this is 0. So if you multiply this one by minus 3 and if you subtract, there will not be any change in this number. So we got 1 0 minus 3 1 and 8. Now so this is 1, this is 0, this is 1. only we need to make this 2 minus 2. So this number to be changed. That means we are going to again affect the row 1. So we can do this one. We can change row 1 with the help of row 2. That is row 1. Okay, if we just multiply the row 2 by 2, and yes, if we add, because if you multiply this, because if you this number is 0, so there will not be any change in this number. So if since this we need to make this, we need to convert this minus 2 to 0. So just multiply 1 by 2 and you will add. So it will this 1 into 2 2, and plus 2 and minus 2 will become 0. So what is the next steps? So 1 and 2 minus 2 plus 2 minus 2, it will be 0, and there is no change. Okay, in the row 2. Yes. So we have multiplied this one. This number we have multiplied by 2. That is, it becomes 6. Minus 6 plus 1. So it's minus 5. And since you have multiplied the second row by 2 and you are adding, so it has to be 2. And there is no change in row 2. So it will remain as it is. Yes, you got this. So this is the identity element, and this is a new matrix, and this is A. So which particular steps? These are very important steps which can be written in this form. So we can write this one in the form of, that is this is I is equal to, in place of minus 5 or 2 minus 3 1. Okay, you can write this is C, this is B matrix, and this is A. We know that if AB is equal to I, okay, then this B will be the inverse of A. So therefore, A inverse is equal to B. So what is the B matrix? That is minus 5, 2, and minus 3, 1. So this is our first answer. Okay, we have done this one using elementary row operations, and you have seen that steps are very, very simple. Okay, let's move to another matrix, that is find the inverse of this matrix, that is 2 0 minus 1 5 1 0 0 1 3 by elementary operations. So this is an NCERT equations. Okay, so we'll be solving this one. We'll find the inverse of this matrix with the help of elementary column operations. Okay, so related compared to 2 by 2 matrix, obviously it will have certain steps. Okay, but steps are equally easy. Okay, and let's start. Let A equal to 2 0 minus 1 5 1 0 0 1 3. So we'll be using column operations. So therefore we write A I, or we are going to replace this, that is 2 0 minus 1 5 1 0 0 1 3, then A, which is like the previous questions. So we don't need to replace A. Let A be remain as it is. So I is equal to, I will be a 3 by 3 ordered IDD matrix. So 0 0 1. Yes. Now we will start the column operations. Okay, we'll start the column operations. So some of the steps you can start here. Okay, now what actually to be done? We know like this matrix to be this to be written in the form, this to be converted into the form of IDD matrix. That means this matrix to be in the form of I. So what do we need is, we need all the diagonal elements to be converted to 1, and all non-diagonal elements to be 0. So there are a lot of changes to be done here in this particular questions. So we'll just go step by step. First, what will be the step 1? So what I'm going to do is, so what I have seen is, with column 1, if we simply add column 3, so we are going to get this 1. So we're going to use this operation first. Okay, we'll be adding this one. So we'll be using C1, that is C1 plus C3. Okay, we are going to use this first operation, C1 plus C3. Okay, so it's not necessary that you should start the sums with the help of these particular operations. Okay, so you can just think, it is coming to my mind that, okay, first I'm going to change this column 1. So you can start with another column also, which one you find suitable. But you see, our concern should be that this particular matrix, will convert it to an identity matrix. Okay, C1 plus C3. So if you add this 2 minus 1, it's to be 1, then 5, this will be 5, and this will be 3. We got this. And there is no change in the column 2, column 3. So just write as 0, 1, 1, and minus 1, 0, 3. Okay, A. So we have added this column 1 and column 3. So it will be 1, 0, and 0 plus 1 is 1. And this is 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Done. Yes. So, but remember this, while using the elementary operations, the operation that you use, you need to write. Okay, you always should mention that. So, what is the next steps? Okay, what's the next steps? So, I hope like it's coming to my mind, coming to your mind that yes, let's say this is starting with 1, 5, 3, and this is minus 1. So again, we can change this column 3. Column 3, we can just add with column 1. So if we add this, so this number will be 0. So just use that operation. So C3 will add C3 plus C1. Done. We are going to use this. So there is no change. Okay, there is no change in column 1. So 1, 5, 3, and 0, 1, 1, and we'll add this column 3 with column 1. So this will be 0, then 0, 5, this will be 5, 5, and 3 plus 3, this will be 6. Done. Okay, this is done. And next, okay, this is 0, and 5 plus 0 is 5, and 3 plus 3 is 6. Then A, 1, 0, 1, and 0, 1, 0, and if you add this will be 1, this will be 0, and this will be 2. It's done. Okay, and remember this, that we are using one operation at a time. You can just use 2 operations together. Okay, next, let us think about the next steps. Okay, so we can change this number. Again, you can just think about the column 1. Okay, we can think about the column 1. This column 1, we can just make this 5, 0 with the help of the column 2, right? Okay, column 2. What we can do is, we can just multiply this column 2 by 5, and you can subtract. So obviously this number will be 0. Let us use that method. Okay, what is the next steps? So using C1, okay, C1 minus, we just multiply the column 2 by 5, 5, C2. Okay, let's see. So there is no change in this first number, because it is 0. So it's 1. And if you multiply this one by 5, and if you subtract, so this will be 0, because we need this number to be 0. And if you multiply this one by 5, and if you subtract, so this number will be minus 2. Okay, 3 minus 5 is minus 2. So there is no change. Yeah, there is no change in column 2, and no change in this column 3. Done. Yes. So A. Remember again, there is no change in this number. Though we have changed this first column. This is first column. So with the help of the column 2. So since it's 0, there is no change in this number. This will be 1, and you have multiplied this number, this one, the second column, by 5. Okay, C3, right? Okay, that operations, the operation that we are using. So we have to mention that. Okay, yes, this one. This is the operation, that is C1 minus 5 C2. So if you multiply the C2 by 5, and if you subtract, okay, so this will be minus 5, and there is no change in this number. 1, so 0, 1, 0, and 1, 0, 2. Done. Okay, 1, 0, 2. So now let's move to the next steps. Okay, let's move to the next steps. Okay, what we can do is, next, here again, this number we can make it 0. This column 3, we can just make this number 5, 0 with the help of the column 2. Okay, we can just column 3, and you can multiply the column 2 by 5, and you can subtract. Okay, so we'll be using these operations, that is C3, okay, C3 minus 5, C2. So there is no change in the column 1, so it's 1, 0, minus 2, so 0, 1, 1, and since we have multiplied the column 2 by 5 when you are subtracting, so this will be 0 and this number will be 0, and since you have multiplied this number by 5 when you are subtracting, so it will be 1. Yeah, we got the 2 benefit, so we could make this number 0 and we got this 1 right in this place, because if you multiply by 5 and subtract, you'll be getting 0, 0, 1. Yes, so slowly we are coming closer to the answer. This is 1, but be careful in the changes that takes place in this particular matrix. Okay, so you are changing C3. Remember this, there is no change in this. 1 minus 5, 1. So 0, 1, 0. Yeah, so this is 1. Column 2, you are multiplying by 5 and you are subtracting. So it has to be minus 5. That means it has to be minus 5. And since it is 0, there is no change. Yes, done. Okay, so what should be the next steps? What should be the next operations? So you can just try this. Okay, you can just pause the video and you can try out the remaining steps. Okay, what will be the next steps? So what I'm going to do is this particular we are going to okay, change the column 2. So one very simple step is there. So if you subtract C2 minus C1, so this number, because this column is okay, that is 0, 0, 1. Okay, there should be some changes in column 1 and there should be changes in some column 2, but just go step by step. So we can make this number 0. So for that we'll just subtract C2, C2 minus C1. So we write that is C2. We are going to change C2 C2 minus C3. We are going to use this operation. Yeah. So since we are going to change C2, so there is no change in first column. That is 1, 0, minus 2. And if you subtract, this is 0. And if you subtract, this is 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0. And this is 0, 0, 1. And this is A. As you will see, that we are changing C2. There is no change in the column 1. 1 minus 5, 1. Okay, so you are changing C2 minus C3. 0 minus 1, it should be minus 1 and 1. And if you subtract this, okay, you are subtracting this one, C2 minus C3. If you subtract, so this is minus 5. Minus minus will be plus 5, so it will be 6. And 0 minus 2, it should be minus 2. So it's 1 minus 5, 2. Done. Next. Okay, only just one more, maximum 1 or 2 steps is there. So since we are using one operation at a time, so it may have certain steps. So you can just reduce the steps. So using 2 operations together. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is, so we can make this number 0. So for that, we'll be using the column like in this position. This is 0. This is 1. So definitely you need to use the column 1 and column 3. So what will be the operation? That is C1 plus 2 C3. We are going to use this. So it's 1, 0. And if you multiply this one by 2 and if you add, it has to be 0. This is 0, 1, 0. And this is 0, 0, 1. Yeah, yes. You got that in the matrix. Let's see what is the changes take place there. So you are changing column 1. Remember this. You are multiplying. You will be multiplying this one by 2 and you are adding this. So since you are multiplying this one by 2 and you are adding, so it has to be 3. Fine. And you are multiplying this minus 5. Okay. Minus 5 by 2. So it will be minus 10 and minus 5. It will be minus 15. Fine. And you are multiplying this one by 2 and you are adding with 1. Since this one, C1 plus 2, C3. Remember this. You are multiplying it's every element of the column 3 by 2. So 2 into 1, 1 plus 1, 3. Minus 5 into 2, minus 10, minus 10, minus 5, minus 15, 2, and you are multiplying by 2 and you are adding with this number. Okay, so it should be 5. 2 to the 4 plus 1, 5. So there is no change in the column 2 and column 3. That is minus 1, 6, minus 2, and 1, minus 5, 2. There is no change. Okay, that is 3 minus 1, 1, minus 15, 6, minus 5, 5 minus 2, 2. Okay. So what you can write is, okay, so that if we can write this one is I, okay, A, B. You can write in this form. Therefore, A inverse. So this B is the inverse of A. Okay, B is the inverse of A. Therefore, A inverse is 3 minus 1, 1, minus 15, 6, minus 5, and 5 minus 2, 2. Yeah, so this is another sum. Okay, and you have seen that the steps are equally easy. Okay, and if you follow the row operations, the difficulty level for each and every question, for either if you use row operations or column operations, it will be almost same. Okay, and thank you so much for watching my channel. And if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe and don't go away without clicking the like button. Okay, thank you so much.